Hello everybody, welcome back to The Sims 4. Today we're jumping back into our random color for every room. There has been maybe just one pack release since then, so you might see some new items, but I don't really keep up with Sims 4. It's like I would have to devote my whole channel to it, and I ain't about doing that. So, yeah, without further ado, let's jump back in. Alright, this is where we last left off. We finished the downstairs, so we have our living space, and honestly I was thinking about this, like we should have put like a piano or something in here, but I don't think there's a blue piano, to be fair. Well, there might be now the Dream Home decorator's out. Oh, okay. Because I was just thinking like this would be like a really good fit in here. Like, this doesn't seem as good. That would be something they would put in a room. This, I think, is definitely the thing we're going for here. And just like that corner would be perfect. I know this has like things in like every corner, but I kind of like the idea of leaving this a little bit more open. That way, if you wanted to come in and like play in this house, you can add stuff to it. But yeah, so we finished the first floor, so now we just have the upper floor. And at first I was going to do this landing with like kind of the same color, but I don't think that's fair. Also, I just realized I'd never put railing on this, and I know that like maybe in like richer places you wouldn't do that, but frick that. Safety first. Now finding a railing that matches. I mean, we went for like a more like contemporary modern look in here. I mean, that fits the old Hollywood vibe, but it doesn't fit like... I see, I've put myself in a corner with this house because we need like old Hollywood. It meets like new age. I like this, but we don't have any oranges in here, so it doesn't really work. That doesn't work. I guess we'll just go down every option. It's... Okay, that might work though. What is this from? Ramblin' Magic? Actually, that works quite well. And then up here, we'll probably have to use, I would imagine, the same thing, right? Also, that's clipping through the window. And there's nothing I can do about it, so that's dumb. Okay, so let's get our color picker. Okay, so right now it's on this really ugly, pukey, gross color, so let's hit the spacebar and hope for something better. Okay, guess we're doing green. Well, I guess it's a good thing because that means that we can use the same railing. Damn it, okay. Alright, let's jump back into it. Hello, voiceover Kelsey here. So first we're starting off with this landing area. We're getting the railings put in. To make this part work, I had to put in a spandrel here, but actually I was gonna remove the spandrel, but actually I like the way it looked. And I like the columns on the edges because I feel like it finishes off the wall better than just like a wall edge, especially in The Sims. I don't know why, but just like the edge of the wall is so abrupt and you just wouldn't see that in real life. So I felt like a column here was kind of the best way to do that. And then once I had those columns there, I felt like they needed to be in the middle as well. And it made that entryway even more like grandeur, I don't know how to say that word. Yeah, so moving on to doors, not a lot of good green door options. I kind of wanted a middle wall height door, but there wasn't one that was a double door because I definitely wanted double doors in this house because it made more sense to have like a larger door for these bedrooms because they are so large, and I feel like a small door would just not make much sense. So here I'm reworking these bedrooms because I had originally had just one bathroom over here for both these bedrooms, but I felt like in a house this size, every room would have a walk-in closet and a ensuite bathroom. So I have reworked this layout to where they both have an ensuite bathroom, just a three-piece bathroom, and they're pretty similar sizes. The one on the left is a little bit bigger, but it's a little wonky looking. It kind of makes sense once we fill it up with stuff, but it does look a little weird. On here, I'm trying to pick the flooring. Not a lot of great green flooring. I didn't want carpet. I kind of wanted carpet, but I went with this green tile instead. It ended up looking just kind of like a hardwood. It has some texture to it. This is the first piece of furniture I'm putting up here. This kind of decided the look and feel of the second floor because I wanted to stick with that like contemporary modern, but also bring in some of that Hollywood like mid-century vibe. I think the Dream Home Decorator pack was definitely a good option here. We're getting more pots in for future plants. Not a lot of plants up here. Honestly, by the time I got to this point in this house, I was just kind of sick of plants. We've put so many plants downstairs and so much green. Really, what I should have just named this house is we build a giant greenhouse because that's what it kind of ended up being. I think like I don't know, somebody's gonna have to go back and do the stats, but I'm sure more than 80% of this house is green because I just kept rolling green. I don't know if it was just the randomizer I was using or what, but just putting a few decorations in this hallway. I didn't want to clutter it up too much, but I did want it to feel like not just a barren landing where there's nothing happening. Unfortunately, in houses this size, there's no real point in putting like an office space or anything up here. But I kind of do also like leaving these spaces open for like if you want to add stuff or add activities or stuff like that. Getting some batoon bowls up there, just like miscellaneous crap that you would find in a hallway. I feel like you would put like keepsakes and stuff there, but bowls and pots is what we have in The Sims. I don't know why, but I struggle with finding rugs for up here. I felt like it needed a rug just to break up the space a little bit, but it ended up looking there was just not a long enough rug is really what the problem was. It's always very long. Yep, and now I'm getting the lights in, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to match the chandelier in the entryway, and I ended up doing just like the regular size version of that chandelier just because I felt like it both made sense to carry that same aspect through to this landing and also it just kind of like looked nice. It's one of my favorite chandeliers, honestly. If I could get it in real life, I totally would. And then just putting a few lights in the hallway to make it a little bit nicer. But yeah, that's it. Alright, I think that is our second floor landing. We went with this, I guess it's a tile, but it's kind of like a light green tile. I went with some like mood lighting up here because I didn't want it to be like super bright at night, but it still has like some nice lighting without being like too bright because this is like where you'd be going on your way to bed. And also I feel like some people light up like these games way too bright. I think having more of like this atmosphere lighting is way more like realistic. I'm not sure about these rugs. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Next we are going to jump into, I think, these smaller rooms. Now I redid the layout of these because it made sense to me that if you're in a house this big that every room is going to have an ensuite and a walk-in. The walk-in closets in these rooms aren't going to be too majorly big, but they should definitely have ensuite bathrooms as well. So they'll have both. And now with Dream Home Decorator, we can kind of do a real walk-in closet instead of just like one set piece. So we'll do that. But yeah, let's jump into, I think I'm going to do all the bathrooms the same color scheme, all the walk-in closets the same color scheme, and then each of the individual bedrooms a different color scheme, just to cut down on how many, I don't know, it depends. If we get green again, then maybe I'll scrap that, but for right now, the color we're doing for the bathrooms is fucking green. Green bathrooms. Okay, I'm doing it again because I can't do green again. I cannot. I should just stay with the green. I knew pink was coming. It was coming for me. I was getting off way too easy with like green and blue. Like, oh yeah, let's do my favorite color throughout the whole house. Okay. Pink bathrooms, let's go. Alright, so pink bathrooms. This, I didn't know how pink I wanted to go because there's some pink and green things in here, but man, that is Barbie house craziness. So I went for the most subtle pinks I could in here. There's really no subtle pinks in this game. They're all very pink. Um, I started these rooms a little bit differently than other rooms. I started putting in items before I put in floors and walls just so I could gauge how pink the room was gonna be before I needed to like offset it. So like the idea is put on all the items and then see how pink we can go with the wall decor. The layout of these bathrooms actually worked out really well because both bathrooms for the kids' rooms is 3x3, which is like the perfect size for a bathtub and shower set, a sink, a free counter, and a toilet. And this bathroom has a window in it, so I put this curtain in it and some downlights just to kind of give it like a, I don't know, a more normal. Like I feel like a lot of the Sims 4 bathrooms don't have those lights above the counter, above the sink, which you definitely would see in a normal bathroom. I just wish I could center the sink. That is my only pet peeve about these. Is since I'm using the counters from Country Kitchen, I can't center the sink and it drives me crazy. But yeah, I wanted a lot of clutter in this one. I felt like this bathroom especially just kind of screamed like preteen or kid. So I kind of leaned in heavily in that in this bathroom. As you can see, I haven't put in the door yet. I'm gonna do that with the bedroom because I don't know. I didn't really like the pink doors. And man, there's enough pink in here already. If I could get another color just with the door, that would be better. Um, yeah, I was thinking about putting something in front of that window. I really like layering curtains, which I do in the other bathroom. I don't think I do in the master bathroom, but I do in the other bathroom because some of these curtains are kind of boring, but once you layer them together, they look way more realistic. That's pretty much this bathroom done. I'm just getting a few like odds and ends here. Unfortunately, I could not put toilet paper rolls in any of the bathrooms because they are not pink. So no toilet paper rolls, unfortunately. You'll have to add that if you ever download this. I did shrink this bathroom down, and it's so dark in this bathroom that I ended up putting in a window because I just couldn't stand, like, you have this giant bathroom and you have no window. That just seems crazy to me. So I do that here eventually. I was trying to do a different sink, but there was really, we have to use this pink sink. It's the only sink in counter, and I feel like you wouldn't have a like pedestal sink in these types of houses. Maybe if they had never been renovated, but that just didn't seem to make sense to me because the rest of the house is pretty modern. Um, there's really also not a lot of lights that I could pick. Luckily, these were pink, considered pink anyway. Also, there was only the one mirror. Like, that mirror is just too long. So, this mirror works out pretty well. I actually kind of like that mirror. In any other color, it'd be perfect. Here I'm doing the curtains where I just layered those two curtains and it looks like worth like $1,000 more. Because those big pink curtains are actually pretty expensive, but whenever you layer it with the other one, it just looks so luxe. This bathroom I did a little bit more grown up, a little less like cluttered, a little more organized, a little more put together essentially. I wanted this to feel more like a teen's bathroom than a like child or preteen. I know there's not preteens in The Sims, but just imagine with me, older child. And this layout worked a little bit better. I kind of wish I would have redone the layout in there, but the window was a little bit more difficult to work around in the other bathroom. I haven't picked as of yet where I'm going to put the door to the broom. I don't know if I'm going to put it through the robe or through the room itself, but I just haven't put in doors. I just left the space open on either side of the sink and bathtub, so I can put it in whatever. And I'm just cluttering up some of the walls now, putting a few decorations that you would see in any bathroom. Now here is where we jump into the master suite, ensuite, and it is large. I really was worried whenever I started this that I wouldn't be able to fill this space, and that it would just feel like it's just a giant pink room with nothing in it, because it doesn't look that bad right now, but once I put in like the objects, like just the toilet, just the shower, and just a bathtub, I was like, oh no, there's there's not a lot going on in here. I didn't know whenever I walked or jumped into this part where I was gonna lay everything out, but I was starting to put that tub in the corner, and I think that still would have been a really good idea, but I like the idea of putting in like doors to the toilet better and moving the bathtub to the center and the countertops to that area where it just seems like it would fit more naturally actually kind of like told me where I would lay out the rest of this room. Just building that little water closet like basically gave me the full layout of this bathroom. Because once it, as you can see, I'm still struggling with the shower. I don't know where to freaking put that. But once I moved the countertops there, I moved the bathtub centered with that window. It really kind of laid everything else out. And then I got the idea from like a French show or movie that I watched recently where the bathtub was raised up a little bit and was like the centerpiece of the bathroom in like a bigger bathroom, and I really like that idea. I like the idea of putting the bathtub in the middle of the bathroom. So I kind of rolled with that idea without actually putting it in the middle. Here I'm just cluttering up like the sink area because I kind of want to make it feel a little lived in, and like there would definitely be more than just like a toilet sitting in a room and a shower sitting in the corner. So I had a few like storage units here because it would make sense to have stuff like that. Unfortunately, those woods can't match, but not gonna worry about that. Yeah, I wasn't really sure where to put that towel rack because I feel like if you're gonna have a nice bathtub, you're gonna have a towel rack. I can't remember if I layered the curtains in this bathroom too. No, it doesn't look like I did. Yeah, I just did normal ones. I also, one of my biggest pet peeves when people build bathrooms is when they put a rug under the tub because it's impossible and it makes me so angry. Like a clawfoot tub, sure, right? But whenever it's a tub like this where it's obviously built into the floor, like no, that's not gonna happen. Here's where I raised the bathtub up just with a platform, just by one step. Unfortunately, I couldn't paint that platform, so it just has to stay gray, which sucks, but the only pink option was really ugly anyway, so I'm not too mad about it. I also did a different flooring color on the under the bathtub because it just kind of centered that as more of like a centerpiece. Here's where I decide that having the shower just in the corner just looks stupid. So after I clutter up these countertops a little bit more, I didn't want to clutter up these countertops too much because it wouldn't make sense. Yes, the obligatory pot and plants in the bathroom, you know, as you would. I did struggle with putting stuff on that platform because it would drop down and raise back up, nope, depending on where I tried to put it. Now these made this bathroom. This divider literally just solved my whole problem. It took what felt like just a big empty space and really split it up into sink area, bath area, and like walkway area. And I am so grateful those were in the pink category, even though they don't look that pink. I still haven't built it in the shower. I thought I did this earlier, but I went pretty far without doing it. Just adding in another plants. And I'm kind of making this like look like a spa retreat area. That's kind of, I wanted it to feel like if you were taking a bath in here, like you've escaped for a little bit and are on a vacation. That's really what it came down to. I'm just throwing an archway here because I haven't decided what color I want to do for the archway and doors yet, so I'm just throwing something up just as a placeholder, just so I can remember the layout. Here we go, this is where I build it in. And I just do it just like the toilet area too. Unfortunately, I had to keep the shower in the corner, so I ended up putting a chair in here just like as a place you would sit to get like changed whenever you get done showering, I guess. It would probably get a little humid, but man, those walls really save the day. It just splits up the area so nicely. Yep, and just putting in the rug, scooting the bathtub back, and that is it. Alright, those are the bathrooms done. We got that one. This one's a little bit more childish. This one's a little bit more teen. And then we have the master bath, which I know this corner's empty, but like, I don't know. I kind of like it empty. I don't know. Maybe I should move this wall or something. I don't know. Tell me what you would put in that corner. Maybe just like another shrubbery, I guess. I just feel like this house has so many plants. Like, if they ever enacted, like, you have to start taking care of your plants in this game, it would not be okay in this house because there are a lot. I don't know, maybe I'll just put this and like, you know, whenever you win your famous people award, it can go there. Like Kate Winslet. I didn't clutter up this bathroom as much just because there's a lot more storage in here, and I do like... at first I had the shower, as you could see, like out in the open, but I mean, if you have two Sims using this bathroom and you are rich, then it makes sense to have like a shower room and a washroom. And I put these in because these are technically pink because of the pink undertones in the wood, I guess. And I like the idea of having, first, just having the grand bathtub on a pedestal by itself just was, I love that idea. It's such a like bougie thing to do. But then have like this like screen, so it's kind of separated, although technically in game that wouldn't do anything. And then of course the double sink area that's massive and actually suits us. I really was worried that I wasn't gonna be able to fill up this bathroom, but now it feels kind of small. I went ahead and put this archway in. As you could tell in these two bathrooms, I didn't put doors in because, God, I didn't want to put a pink door in because the only pink door option that was okay was this one, and I didn't want it to clash too much with the room, so I was gonna wait to put in the doors for the bathrooms until I get the room door. I think I retain the right to switch it to pink if the doors don't work, but I put in this placeholder archway because I wanted to remind myself that they're going to flow through from the bedroom, the master suite bedroom, into this walk-in closet, into the bathroom, which is pretty common in some bigger houses here. I don't know about other places, but it's pretty common. But yeah, so let's do the walk-in closet colors next. Okay, let's see what color we get in for walk-in closets. Hopefully it's something that's doable. Ready and go. Red. This is good. But yeah, what we're looking at today now is a red. Do we have any options? It gives us clothes, which is good, but it doesn't look like it gives us the other things, which is a bit of a bummer. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to do that in this one, but I'm gonna make it to where it would be easily swappable. If you could use more than just red. So, let's jump in a building. Alright, red wardrobes. Yeah, it was a little disappointing that we couldn't use the brand new Dream Home Decorator walk-in wardrobe pack stuff. So we had to use this old walk-in wardrobe stuff, which honestly probably fits this house a little bit better. The problem with the Dream Home Decorator stuff is it's so like mid-century contemporary. It's so stylized, and honestly I don't like how the pieces embed into the wall, like end pieces, just not realistic to me. But yeah, so we're using the old walk-in wardrobe stuff, not a big deal. I put this mirror corner over here, and I wanted a vanity, of course, and I'm just using a desk and a chair for that. I'm not using an actual vanity because I wanted the giant mirrors. I am using this ottoman though for like a little thing that you would stand on to like look at your wardrobe, or have some seamstress come in and like hem it or whatever. If you were, you know, rich, I'm sure that's something that you would do, or just to see, you know, see your outfit with your shoes on, something like that. Getting some lights around the vanity because that's obviously important. And some more lights in this room because it is pretty dark since there's no windows. I considered putting a window to the balcony, but it didn't really make much sense. Now, once I got to the wall decorations, that's where this room took quite a turn. Because, man, the wall, like, stuff, the red wall stuff and the red flooring is so ungodly red, and it's all the same tone of red, right? Like, I guess it's because it's so easy to fall into the pink category that most of the lighter stuff does, but I really wanted like a carpet in here, and all of the red carpet is very like red in your face, which meant that I had to tone down the walls a little bit. But honestly, I really like that wallpaper. Vampire stuff came in clutch for these walk-in wardrobes. I wanted shelves over here to put shoes on because for some reason that shelf that I put on the wall you cannot put anything on, which is just disappointing. It's why build shelves in The Sims if you're not going to let us put anything on it? Just why, Sims team? It's frustrating. I want to put stuff on the shelves. I end up just using the raise and lower stuff and move objects to just put stuff on there. I like the suitcases. I thought that was a really cute idea to put that in and a table with the suitcases. Yeah, so this is a problem I was having is I would raise the shoes up, but they wouldn't sit on that shelf properly because it's not a real shelf. So I just gave up. I just didn't put anything on that shelf. I think I ended up putting like a box on it later, but yeah, that end table with the suitcases is really cute. I feel like suitcases in here makes the most sense, and just putting like a little jewelry bowl on there um really kind of just capped it off. I also just put this little poof on the end. It's technically a table, but I feel like it like seems better as like a seat that you could pull out, have friends over. I really wanted a shelf over here. Yeah, so even the shoe shelf from the bowling stuff, you can't even put shoes on. So like I don't know why those shelves even exist. They're purely decorative and um not in a good way, because to me a decorative shelf means you could put decorations on it. So I had to find a shelf where the shoes would even fit if I raised them up. So I found these shelves. They actually fit this room really nicely and I just raised the shoes up and then raised the shelf up to meet the shoes. Probably not worth it in the end. I just wanted the shoes from Dream Home Decorator. I like the idea of having more stuff. Of course, all of those have red swatches, so they still count towards the red. I just put one painting in there. I didn't want to decorate it too much or clog it up because the whole point of a giant house is to have space. These walk-in wardrobes, of course, are a lot smaller, so I end up at first I was going to do it like this, but that just cut off the whole room. So I end up just basically doing like one full side as a closet. So it's less of like a walk-in, it's like what I would call like a normal size walk-in closet. It's what you would see around here. Normally you would have like a closet you could step into, and there would be a pole on one side and a pole on the other side. Obviously can't do that in here because of the red restriction. But I feel like this set looks really good. It probably doesn't go with this room. I kind of got carried away. But this red set, it embeds into the wall really nicely and kind of meets each other in a way that made sense. And then I get that star mirror behind it because I really think it's cute. And it kind of makes this walk-in wardrobe a little bit younger. And then I feel like you definitely would have a chair in a room this size. Yeah, maybe the drawers are a little hard to get to, but who really cares? If you're in there with your girlfriends just trying out clothes, that's what you would do. I also had to throw in more shoes because I wanted to. That's really what it is. I just wanted the shoes. I'm really upset that there's not shelves you can easily put them on. I just got one or two decorations in here. I didn't want to add too much in here and make it feel like closed in. But if you're gonna have a wall, you might as well throw something on it, you know? I briefly looked at the door options. I wasn't a fan of any. That one looks like a closet door to me, like outside of like the Japanese aesthetic. It just looks like a closet door. So I threw that in as a placeholder. And then I'm getting this one. Now these walls were a real big struggle because the tone of those walls clashes real hard with any of the flooring, because I wanted these rooms to have carpet. It just makes sense to have carpet. If you're gonna have carpet in the bedroom, you have to have carpet in the closet. So I really wanted that wall and a carpet, but man, a lot of the carpet clashed. So I ended up going with this chevron pattern. It's a lot, but in such a small room, I think it's manageable. I pulled out these because we could do the similar style thing and still embed them pretty nicely. It still doesn't look like I glitched them in or whatever. And it's a little bit more grown up than the other one. And this mirror fit perfectly, so it all turned out pretty well. And then I threw in a chair in here as well. And I think that's it. No, I did put a couple wall decorations in here, a couple more than the other one, just kind of finish off this room. I really wanted the Moschino stuff, but I didn't want to rearrange the whole room to put in that Moschino chair because the armrest is on the opposite side, so it would have looked funny. But yeah, that is the walk-in wardrobes. Alright, we are back, done with the walk-in wardrobes. I did not put a door on this one. Do I want to put a door? So I chose this door because it kind of looks like a closet door. I don't know. I might change that. It's a bit much. I don't know. I'm reserving the right that if I want to replace it with a door from the other color for like the bedroom color, because my problem with adding a door in for the closet, like I might still remove this, is that it wouldn't make sense for this door not to match this door. Like maybe this door could be different, but it makes more sense for the closet and bathroom door of the same room to match, if that makes sense. So, yeah, let's roll for the first bedroom color and start doing that one, because I imagine this video is already getting pretty long. Blue! Yeah, that's blue. That's 100% blue. Alright, looks like this first bedroom is going to be blue, so let's get into that. Alright, so the first blue bedroom. It was kind of nice to get away from green, not gonna lie, and also the harshness of the pink and red. I went with like a subtle blue vibe in here. I didn't want to overpower it with blue like we did in the living room. So I went with more like seafoam blue, which I know is kind of like a green, but it counted as blue. So, I mean, teal is blue, right? Teal is just as much blue as it is green. So in this room, I wanted it again to be the teens room. So I went with more of like a luxe glam Hollywood teenager who's grown up rich, basically. I struggled with curtains in this room because I wanted to layer the curtains, but I had two different sized windows, which is always a struggle. Also, for some reason, placing curtains lately in The Sims 4 it was a pain in the ass, but I found these curtains which have the beads built in, so it already looks layered, which I freaking love, and I just feel like it adds a lot. I wasn't sure which side tables to get on here. The problem with side tables in this game is that there's so many that are ultra stylized and so many that are just big, but I ended up going with those because I feel like they fit the vibe really well. I feel like kids rooms are always going to look a little mishmash in style. Like, you wouldn't have, your parents don't, I don't know, maybe rich kids would, but your parents wouldn't buy a whole suite. You would get a few pieces here and there. At least that's how it always was for me. So the furniture doesn't necessarily match, but it kind of has the same vibe, which is where it was kind of going. And also we're restricted to one color, so frig it. So this area was perfect for like a desk setup, and since we put books in the bathroom, it made sense to have like some bookshelves in here too. I didn't want to put just like a whole thing of bookshelves and have the desk somewhere else, but splitting up where the desk and bed is, I think, made this room still feel big without feeling like empty. And just having built-ins kind of made sense in this room too. I don't know if these bookshelves would necessarily be built in, but I wanted this one to have a few obvious hobbies because you haven't put a lot of activities in this house, and if you're gonna make it playable, I feel like you kind of have to have some hobbies. So I get those bookshelves, which I changed to the color of the end tables to kind of match that wood tone. But this is a really cute little, like, I don't know, desk area for routine, I think. I really love that board with like the drawings on it. That's where I kind of got the idea that maybe this one's a little more artsy. I put a camera down for all the photos just to kind of mesh it all together. I really wanted something to go there, and I found these posters and sized them down, and they worked pretty well. So here's where we get the easel, and I end up moving that later and finding, yeah, the tarp, sizing it down and fitting it over there. I realized at this point I hadn't even put in carpet yet, so I went with a darker carpet just because the walls were so light. Then adding some clutter over here. I shoved some stuff under the desk. I don't know if you could see that, but I feel like kids always do that, just shove stuff under. And then I wanted something on that other wall too, just to kind of finish off the room. I feel like if you have a room this big, you would have like a seating area. Oh, and I put a hamper out here. This can be replaced with a real hamper. I didn't put a laundry room in, so I didn't put actual hampers. I just put placeholder hampers. So if you wanted to replace them, you could. At first I put that chair over there, but then I realized this area is really good for like a seating area with like the windows and like a little table and some poofs. All right, here is the blue room. It turned out quite cozy, I think. I gave them a little painting and a photography. I feel like they're kind of more of the creative team, maybe. Some books, since we put books in their bathroom, I feel like they're probably an avid reader. The curtain situation isn't ideal, but it works, so let's move on to the other kids' room. This one I'm imagining more of like a preteen, more of like a girly girl, maybe. I don't know. That's going off purely from the bathroom. The wardrobe doesn't really scream that, but yeah, let's pick a color. Another blue room. I might go a little bit darker in this room. There's some blue options that I did not pick because you can't just shove every blue item in, so let's get into it. So yeah, I didn't really go that much darker in this room. I will say this was probably the easiest room to put together because, man, kids' rooms are just fun. This just makes sense because their whole world exists in one room, so you don't have to worry about like spreading it out or any. I don't know, it just made sense. Also, I really love those doors with like the drawings on them. I thought that was adorable. So the idea for this room was like the princess of the Daddy's Little Princess vibes. So I went with like a sweetheart bed and like just like cutesy like child stuff. I layered some curtains in here, just really light curtains so that, you know, it could stay open and airy. This room I think is a little bit bigger, but it ended up kind of feeling about the same size as the other room, honestly, with how we placed everything. Also, I put a pet bed in here because obviously the dog would sleep in this room. Yeah, and then I put the desk over in this corner, which just fit really well, honestly. And I was worried at first that it was gonna like block off that walkway, but the way this room is built, since it's so like angled, it actually made that area seem less like sharp corners everywhere in this room. I don't know, the layout of this room is weird, but it also makes perfect sense and everything works exactly the way it's supposed to. It also gives a lot of room to put in toys because a lot of the toys in this game are ginormous. I don't know why Sims 4 has a problem with making everything huge, but it does. I didn't put giant bookshelves in this one because I felt like kids stuff. I put bookshelves in the other one. I didn't want to put books in all of the rooms, or a bunch of bookshelves in all the rooms. But yeah, I really went like crazy with cluttering up this room, just because it was just so natural. It was so easy to fill up this room with stuff, and I love like in a kid's room, like everything being shoved in one space so that you can have more room in the middle of the room to play. So I kind of went with that vibe. Also, I did not realize there was a cute little frog on the side of those. It's freaking adorable, and I love that little tiny detail so much. Oh, I put a lot of crafting stuff in this room too, because I felt like as a kid you would just craft stuff a lot, and I felt bleh, filled up that Kallax shelf just because it made sense. Yeah, there's a little crafting kit. I just wanted it to feel like a lived-in room. Put some shoes in because now I can put in blue shoes. I thought about hiding that cereal box and like the cans underneath the desk just as like a kid sneaking in food, but like I don't think rich kids would do that. Just like an empty cereal box would be so funny to find in a kid's room. But yeah, just throwing in the final touches here, adding toys and stuff, adding that train on the shelf, and hiding a few toys here and there, and just kind of making a mess, really. Um, I don't know what I ended up. Oh, I ended up putting that in the corner. I was like, I knew I ended up putting something in there, and then I went ahead and decorated the walls with a few things just to kind of clutter it up again, make it feel lived in, like a little kid or preteen lives in here, and you know loves its Disney princesses. Um, but yeah, I feel like this room is really sweet and cute, and I mean it could honestly be for a girl or a boy. I was just going for that, you know, the obvious favorite youngest child vibe. That's it. All right, that is the other bedroom, and I think it came out pretty well. It doesn't look like the color was blue, which I think I like a lot about these rooms. Like, yeah, a lot of the furniture pieces are similar, but I feel like this is still way more grown up than like this room is. Of course, I threw in some like kid stuff, but like even just like the cluttering whenever you don't necessarily need it just makes it feel like more childish, you know? So yeah, let's get our last room's color, and then we will be done with this house. And next challenge I do is going to be a smaller house. That was my fault. I just thought the Hollywood theme, like house thing, would fit. I know we kind of got away with that with the bedrooms, or away from that theme with the bedrooms, but all right, final color. Green. We've never done green before. All right, green it is. Let's go. All right, so our final room is, you guessed it, green. Like we haven't done green in like literally most of this house. I wasn't too upset about this. Honestly, at this point I knew green so well that it was just like, of course it's green because the rest of the house is green, so the people that own this house would want a green bedroom. So the idea for this bedroom was just kind of, since it's so large, right? In hindsight, I probably should have cut some of this room down and made like a balcony outdoor space. But the idea for this room is it's the parents or, you know, single parent, whatever. It's their getaway space, right? This is where they go when they're done dealing with children, when they're done dealing with work, when they're done dealing with everything. This is where they go. So I did some blackout curtains around the bed just because that made sense to me. And then I layered curtains on the other window just because I really like that look. Like, if you can layer curtains, you probably should. I really like that curtain that's just really sheer but like bound in the middle because it lays so well with other curtains. It just like makes sense. I considered at a later in this video putting the bed up on a platform like we did in the bathroom with the bathtub, but it was too far in and I really just was ready for this house to be done, so I didn't do that. I think it would be kind of cute and it would split up this room a little bit. I also considered pulling the bed away from the wall and putting in like stuff behind it, but I didn't really have any good options with the green color, so I just kind of put all the furniture around the bed that made sense. I also put a fireplace in this room, which took up a bunch of space with like a classic sitting area where like mom and dad would sit. Not mom and dad, but parents would sit and just like, I was gonna say have a cup of coffee, but have the wine at the end of the day. I also put a fish tank in here just because why the fuck not? I know it seems really out of place, but I just really like that fish tank. It's fucking cool. It's so impractical, but I like it. I was sticking more towards the like, I don't even know what the vibe is in this room. It's kind of like classic, we have money vibe, I guess. I also realized I didn't put an office in this house, so I just kind of put it in this room because oh well. This room is big enough that it kind of splits up the different space, and honestly, if you wanted to cut out space to put in like a separate office space, you could do that, but man, I didn't want to have to do another green room, honestly. That's really what it came down to. It's like, you know what? Most of this house is green, so whatever. Really, honestly, you could probably just cut off this part of the room and make it an office or like a den or something because this has a full sectional couch in here with like coffee table and books and desk and everything. So you could probably just cut this section of the bedroom off and make the bedroom smaller. However you want to do that, I mean, you have to figure out the door situation, but you could probably just put another hallway where that fish tank is and then cut off the room. You really could, honestly. This room is huge, but it doesn't, I think by the end of it, I've got it to where it doesn't feel too large. Like, yes, it's huge. Yes, there's a lot of empty space, but in the way that the rest of the house has empty space and is huge, which I think the paintings really like finalized and solidified that and made this just feel like a cozy getaway for the parents or the owners of this house at the end of the day, which I think is really the ultimate goal. They really do have their own like wing of the castle, so to speak, and it worked really well. I'm glad we ended this house on green. It really just needed more green, to be honest. Maybe next I'll do like solid color for the whole house theme since I'm like halfway there with this house. I don't know if I could have done the whole house in green. Maybe smaller house. But yeah, turned out pretty good. I think we're just adding small touches here and there to kind of clutter it up a little bit, make it feel lived in. But yeah, that's it. Alright. I think that is this house done. It has been quite a journey. Yeah, so that's the final look of the house. It was quite a doozy. This was the outside again, if you don't remember. I never did put in a pool, but that's because pools aren't green. But we got solar panels in. I'm not really sure where I thought this house would go, but not where it went. From our humble first like entryway to our very blue living room to our very red kitchen and dining. This kitchen turned out glorious, by the way. I really like the way it turned out. Dining room, man, there's a bunch of junk. Our plant room, because they like plants in this house. Our landing, which didn't have much on it, just a little like clutter here and there. Lots of pots in this house for all the plants, the future plants. our first blue teen bedroom, the walk-in robe and bathroom, our kids' blue room with her walk-in, his or her walk-in bathroom and robe. And I didn't put the bathroom through the walk-in robe here just because I knew these would be small. But I think they turned out okay. I think it makes sense the way I did it. And then finally our master bedroom with the walk-in beautifully red robe, beautifully pink bathroom. Honestly, next to each other, it kind of like offsets everything. But yeah, I think overall, looking back, it's, I mean, you can kind of see the colors, but it's not so obvious. But yeah, that's it for this build. I will be uploading this to the gallery now that it's done. Feel free to make it better without the color restriction. But yeah, I'll see you guys all back for the next game.